बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की। मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथो मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा कृपालु गुरवे नमः। रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते, रामं रमेशं भजे। रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमू, रामाय तस्मै नमः। रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं, रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे, भो राम मामुद्धर। नमः कमलना नमः कमलमालिने, नमः कमलपादाय, नमस्ते कमलेक्षण। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रणोति तस्मै तग्वं ह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। My dear sisters and brothers, fellow devotees on the path of devotion, let us now chant with love and devotion the glorious names of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. The kirtan is Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala. I request you to kindly be very generous and chant loudly. Please do clap your hands as you chant. Most importantly, let's all do Roop Dhyan as we do the Sankirtan. Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala, जो गिरिधर गिरिधर गोविंद गो भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
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 भजो गिरिधर गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो 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 मोर मुकुट मुरली वाला
भजो मोर मुकुट मुरली वाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला
भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला बोलिए गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाल की, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की। Devotional listeners, now I request your full attention as I begin my topic of self-surrender. There are three types of karma, actions, that are always accompanying us. They're always with us, lifetime after lifetime. First of all, there are accumulated actions performed by us in countless previous lives. These actions have yet to bear fruit, and scriptures call them sanchit karma, accumulated actions. Because we have lived countless lives and countless times we have been born human, these are the actions we have performed in each and every human lifetime. So these are innumerable in number. Secondly, it is a law of nature and it is a law of God that avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. Mahabharata scripture tells us that every action, good or bad, will bear fruit. Na bhuktam kshiyate karma kalpa koti shatairapi. Every action will bear a reaction, even if it takes millions of lifetimes, but every action will bear fruit. Karam pradhan vishwa kari rakha, jo jas kariye so tas phal chakha. Saint Tulsidas says in Ramcharitmanas. So some of the sanchit or accumulated actions of the past are now bearing fruit in this lifetime. We call them our destiny, bhagya, kismat. Scriptures call them prarabdha karma. Thirdly, there are fresh actions, new actions that we as humans have the opportunity to perform. These are called kriyaman karma by scriptures. Each and every individual soul has been bound by these three actions. Karmana badhyate jantuhu. Mahabharata scripture says that these actions, they bind the individual soul. These actions bind us, they have us as their slaves. How do they bind us? Prashnopanishad explains, punyena punyalokam nayati, papena papam ubhabhyameva manushyalokam. The consequence of virtuous actions is the attainment of celestial abodes of the Devatas, Swargalok. There are 7 Swarga. Bhuvah, Swaha, Maha, Janah, Satah, Tapah, and Brahmalok. There are 7 Swarga, 7 celestial abodes, and we will have to go to one or the other of them because we have performed virtuous actions in countless previous lives. And Swargalok or celestial abode, that is a bondage for us. And then papena papam, Prashnopanishad says, for every sinful deed that the soul has performed, committed, there is bondage of naraklok, hell, and there are 28 hells. And for the performance, because we have performed countless sinful deeds, we will have to go to one or the other of these hells also. And ubhabhyameva manushyalokam. This is Prashna number 3, mantra number 7 of Prashnopanishad, which tells us now that a mixture, a combination of good and bad deeds leads one to this mrityulok, to this earthly abode in 8.4 million possible forms of life. So you see, this is how our actions bind us. They force us to go to Swargalok, they force us to go to Naraklok, the hellish abodes. They force us to come back to this world in so many different forms of life. We're not free, we are bound by our actions. So what is a person to do if he wishes to go beyond these three actions? What if we don't want to be bound anymore? What if we are exhausted going to Swargalok and Naraklok and Mrityulok? We are exhausted. We don't want to travel anymore. We want to go home to God. We want to go to Golok. So what can we do? How can we go beyond these three actions? These three karma? This is an excellent question. And a very rare soul asks this question. Otherwise, we have been very happily going to Swargalok, Naraklok, Mrityulok. We are very happy traveling. We're very happy getting a body of an insect, a bird, a devta. We are very happy getting these bodies. But at some point, God smiles upon us and brings a guru into our lives. And that guru makes us aware that we should be going home to God and that we should be trying to get away from all this suffering. So then what are we to do if we wish to get away from all this suffering? The eternal voice of God is the Vedas, the Ved. And in Rig Ved, Bhagwan gives us a solution. He says, Todasyeva Sharana Amahasya. Surrender to me. That's all you have to do. Just surrender to me. Te tva mada indra madayantu shushminam tu viradhasam jaritre eko devatradayase. Just one thing you have to do is to surrender. Uduttisht swadhvarastavano devya kripa. Rig Ved again. These three quotations are basically saying the same thing. God is saying, surrender to me, O individual soul, if you want relief. And the concept of self-surrender has been talked about by all the scriptures. From Ved to the Ramayana, every scripture has talked about it. Every scripture has told us, O human beings, surrender to God. Etadalambanam shrestha metadalambanam param. Kathopanishad. Yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tagvam ha devamatma buddhi prakasham mumukshur vai sharanamaham prapadye. Shvetashvatoropanishad. Mamekameva sharanam sarvadehinam yahi sarvatma bhavena. The Bhagavad Puran also says the same. Surrender to me, says Bhagwan Shri Krishna to Uddhav. O Uddhav, every individual soul must surrender to me, for I am the one and only shelter for all. Where would anyone else, where else would anyone go? I am the sole shelter for all, says the Supreme Lord Krishna. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharat. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18. In the final chapter of the Gita, verse 62, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, surrender, surrender. And the Gita is filled with references to self-surrender. It's full of references. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says again and again, surrender to me, surrender to me. Why does he repeat himself? Because it's an important concept. Whenever there is an important concept, we find that the scriptures repeat that concept again and again. They talk about it again and again. Ananyaschintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham teshamaham samuddharta mrityu sansara sagarat Bhavami na chirat parth maya veshita chetasam. This is chapter 12, verse number 7. Earlier I quoted from chapter 9, verse 22. In the Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas ji says, or I should say that Bhagwan Ram says through Saint Tulsidas, सन्मुख जीव होहि मोहि जब ही जन्म कोटि अघना सही तब ही मन क्रम वचन छाड़ी चतुराई भजत ही कृपा करत रघुराई. Bhagwan Ram says, O individual soul or Jivatma, when you give up all your tricks and tactics, you give up all your cleverness and craftiness, and you surrender to me innocently, like an innocent child, then I shall burn all your previous actions. All your previous sins I shall destroy immediately when you surrender to me. And saintly souls are also inspiring us to surrender. They have surrendered to God and they're advising us to do the same. Jagadguru Ramanujacharya says, Sarva dharmanscha santyajya sarva kamanscha saksharan loka vikranta charanau sharanam te brajam vibho. O Lord of the universe, I have renounced all varieties of dharma. I have renounced all desires of all types, and I have come to seek shelter of your lotus feet. I surrender myself to you. Kindly give me your grace. In his Alamandar Stotram, Sri Yamunacharya says, very humbly, he says, न धर्मनिष्ठोऽस्मि न चात्मवेदी न भक्तिमान् त्वच्चरणारविन्दे अकिञ्चनो नन्यगतिः शरण्यं त्वत्पादमूलं शरणं प्रपद्ये. My Lord, I don't know anything about dharma. I do not have even a trace of devotion in my heart. I have no strength of my own. All my strength lies in your lotus feet. I know that if I surrender to you, then you will grace me. Even Adi Shankaracharya, he is so misunderstood. So many people in the world mistakenly think that he had nothing to do with the personal aspect of God. But Adi Shankaracharya was a devotee through and through, and he prays to God. नारायण करुणामय शरणं करवाम तावकौ चरणौ इति षट्पदी मदीये वदन सरोजे सदा वसतु. O Lord Narayan, I surrender myself to you. So we hear a lot about surrender, sharanagati. Bhagwan ki sharan mein jao, go and surrender to God. We hear this again and again. But what does surrender mean? We don't know. We talk about it, we hear about it, but what does it really mean? Now, the Bhagavad Gita illustrates very effectively what self-surrender is all about. In the beginning of the Gita, we read about Arjun who says to his chariot driver, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, he says, "O Keshav, take my chariot to the center of the battlefield." And Bhagwan Shri Krishna takes the chariot to the center of Kurukshetra, the battlefield. There Arjun sees his own elders, his teachers, his kinsmen, his own flesh and blood, and he becomes absolutely distraught. He sees thousands and thousands of warriors. And he thinks to himself, I see Dronacharya, I see Kripacharya, I see Bhishma Pitamah. I have played in their laps. I have learned from them. They have been my teachers. They have lavished their attention upon me. They have given me so much affection. They have taught me so much. Will I shoot arrows at them? No, I cannot. His skin started to burn. His whole body was as if on fire. He couldn't stand steady on his feet. He had to sit down. His mind was reeling with confusion. And he said to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, गाण्डीवं स्रंसते हस्तात् त्वक्चैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः. Maharaj, my bow Gandiv is slipping from my hands. How will I engage in battle? I cannot even hold on to my bow. And my mind is reeling with confusion. I can't even stand steady on my feet. And eva muktva Arjuna sankhye rathopastha upavishat. Visrijya sasharam chapam shokasam vigna manasah. Having spoken these words, a grieving Arjuna went to the back of the chariot, to the back seat and sat there. A warrior does not do that. But he is completely devastated. He's completely distraught. His mind is reeling with confusion. And as you know, if your mind is confused, if your mind is agitated, then the body is affected greatly as well. His body is as if on fire. It's burning, and he's sweating, and he is not able to hold on to his bow. He is devastated. And he says, I cannot fight this battle. I will not. I don't see any point in fighting this battle. I do not want to kill my own kinsmen, my own elders. Why would I want to fight this battle? I do not want a kingdom. I do not want worldly wealth. I don't want name and fame. O Keshav, I do not want to fight. But at the same time, this most valiant warrior, Shri Krishna has said about Arjuna, Virana maham Marjuna. Of all the valiant warriors, I am Arjuna. Which he means to say that Arjuna is the most valiant of all men. But this most valiant warrior is devastated, and yet he has the presence of mind to ask Shri Krishna, you tell me, Gurudev, you tell me what to do. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am unable to decide on the right course of action due to the extreme agitation of my mind. You tell me, Gurudev, I am your fully surrendered disciple. Tell me what to do. So Shri Krishna tells him, O Arjun, if you show your back to the battlefield, you are committing a sinful sin, and the consequence is attainment of hell, the demonic regions, hellish abodes. Arjun asks, Maharaj, Gurudev, not fighting the battle, a sin? I don't understand. Shri Krishna said, let me explain. You are a warrior, you are a Kshatriya, Arjun, and it is your duty to fight this lawful battle. If you do not perform your duty, you are committing a sin. So just understand that if you turn away, then you are committing a sin. I see. What will happen if I do fight this battle then? Well, if you fight the battle, then there are two possibilities. There are two possible outcomes. Hato va prapsyase swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchaya. Arjun, either you will win the battle, in which case you will attain sovereignty of the entire earth. You will become the king of the world. Wouldn't that be nice? And Arjun, if you do happen to die while fighting the battle, you'll die a hero's death, then you will attain the pleasures of Swargalok. And you will get so much name and fame that you died while valiantly fighting the battle, while performing your duty. So Arjun, it's a win-win situation. You cannot lose. Either you will attain pleasures of the earth, the likes of which no one has ever tasted before, or you will attain the higher pleasures, even the higher pleasures of Swargalok. So, O mighty armed Arjun, resolve upon battle. Do not be cowardly. Decide to fight this battle. You must. Arjun was very valiant and he was very intelligent. He was very wise. He was not going to take a hasty decision. This is something we can all learn from. Before we take a decision, we must think about it. What is the outcome of this decision of mine? Will God and Guru be pleased with this decision of mine? Will this decision of mine disturb them? Will it make them unhappy? Will it make them happy? Let me think about this. Arjun is not rushing, he is asking. And he is not asking in order to argue with Sri Krishna. He is asking for the purpose of receiving true knowledge. Asking questions is not wrong. Asking questions in order to test the teacher is wrong. But asking questions to gain further knowledge is a must. Because sanshayatma vinashyati, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, one who has doubts will surely fall on the spiritual path. So Sri Krishna is being asked questions by Arjun. Arjun asked, well, I know that there is no happiness in hell. I know about the torments of hell. I certainly do not wish to go there. And I have already tasted great pleasures of this earth, and I know that they have not satisfied me. I am still looking for that unlimited happiness. I'm looking for that permanent peace. I have not found it on this earth. But can it perchance be found in celestial abodes? Can I find that peace and happiness which is immeasurable, which is unlimited, everlasting, and ever increasing? Can I find it in Swargalok? Sri Krishna smiled. He was very happy with the intelligence that Arjun was showing, and he said, no, Arjun. That true happiness and that permanent peace cannot be found in Swargalok either. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti evam trayi dharma manuprapanna gata gatam kama kama labhante. Chapter 9, verse 21. Arjun, the pleasures found in the celestial abodes of the Devatas are quite like the pleasures found on earth, except they are heightened and perfected. But if you ask me, can true happiness be found in Swargalok? The answer is no. Arjun then asks, Maharaj, then I am in a fix. If I fight the battle, I face the bondage of Swargalok or earth. And if I do not fight the battle, I am committing a sinful deed and I face the bondage of hell. I wish to transcend these three bondages. So what should I do? Shri Krishna said, Arjun, do not perform the virtuous action, the punya karma of fighting the battle. And do not perform the sinful deed of not fighting the battle, but fight the battle. Do not perform the virtuous action of fighting the battle. Do not perform the sinful action of not fighting the battle, but fight the battle. Arjun said, Maharaj, you've given me this riddle on this battlefield. I don't understand. Arjun, the one who understands this riddle, the one who is able to solve this riddle, attains everything. There's nothing left for him to do once he solves this riddle. Maharaj, I don't understand. How can I get over these three bondages of actions? Punya karma and pap karma, virtuous as well as sinful deeds. Shri Krishna says, let me tell you this. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. What you should do is renounce all activities, all actions, all varieties of dharma. Renounce all duties and surrender to me alone. That's all you need to do. But Maharaj, if I renounce all my duties, then I am committing a sin. You have told me that. What about that? I do not wish to go to hell. Shri Krishna said, Arjun, you are being naive. I am the one who is going to judge your actions. If you are surrendered to me, then I shall absolve you of all sins. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha yishyami ma shuchaha. Do not worry, ma shuchaha, Arjun. I shall absolve you of all sins and I shall grant you liberation. There's an important point here that we should all pay attention to. Shri Krishna says, I shall absolve you of all sins. What he means is that I shall absolve you of all sinful deeds and also virtuous actions. If Shri Krishna absolves Arjun of all his sinful deeds, then Arjun will no longer have to go to hell. He will be forever free from the torments of hell. But what about Arjun's virtuous actions? Punya karma. What about our punya karma then? Virtuous actions. We will have to go to Swargalok time and time again, countless times, because every individual soul has performed countless virtuous actions along with countless sinful deeds. So Shri Krishna says, I shall absolve you of all sins. That means all sins and all virtuous actions. Even virtue is a sin. The greatest saints have dared to say that even virtue is a sin. How can virtue be a sin? They are opposites of one another. No, virtue is a sin. Virtue means sattvagun, the mode of goodness, the mode of virtue, which is also under the control of Maya. As long as we are established in sattvagun, the mode of virtue, we cannot go to God. We cannot be free of bondage. We need to break free of the bondage of even sattvagun. We need to go beyond even the mode of goodness. We need to free ourselves. And so even virtue is a sin in the eyes of God. So Shri Krishna promises Arjun that he will absolve him of all sins, all virtuous actions, and that he will give him liberation. This surrender. Shri Krishna says, surrender to me. We see a very practical example of surrender in this world. Have you ever observed a newborn? I suspect that we all have. We know that when a child is born, the child is completely surrendered. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. To surrender means to do nothing. So he doesn't do anything, and the mother does everything for the child. The child doesn't know how to sit, how to stand, how to even lay down. The child doesn't know how to turn sides. The child doesn't know how to feed himself, how to clothe himself. The child doesn't know how to clean himself. He doesn't even know how to communicate the desire to do any of these. All he does is to cry. Now it is the mother's responsibility to take care of each and every need of the newborn. It's up to the mother to think, why is he crying? Does he need a diaper change? Does he need to be burped? Is he suffering from indigestion? Is he hungry? Sometimes the mother gets it wrong, very wrong. The newborn, the baby is crying because of indigestion, and the mother thinks, oh, he's hungry. She feeds him more milk. So the problem goes from bad to worse. And then she realizes her mistake. So the child is fully surrendered to the mother, and the mother does everything for the child. As the child grows up, he starts doing some things for himself. And so the mother stops doing some things for the child. When the child becomes an adult, he starts doing everything for himself. Now the mother doesn't worry, oh, I have to wake him up, he has to go to college, I have to pack his lunch. No, he does all that himself. He knows that. He knows how to do all that. But when he was a newborn, when he was a baby, she was taking care of every need of his. She had to think about everything he needed. She was doing Ashtayami Seva. That's what mothers do. They do seva around the clock, day and night, night and day. The child surrenders, the mother does everything for the child. So to surrender means to do nothing. To do nothing. Draupadi's example comes to mind as well. It's a perfect example that shows surrender and grace. And what surrender really means. Draupadi was in such a predicament that no one would like to find themselves in that predicament. Her husbands, 5 husbands, collectively known as the Pandavas, they lost everything in the gamble. They gambled with their 100 cousins, the Kaurav brothers, and they lost everything, the kingdom, wealth, everything. And now in a desperate bid to save everything, to get everything back, they put their wife, Draupadi, on stake, and they lost her as well. Well, Dushasan, one of the Kaurav brothers, drags Draupadi by her hair and brings her in front of full court. Hundreds and hundreds of kings are sitting there, princes and the courtiers. There's so many people sitting there, elders. Draupadi's 5 husbands are sitting there too, and Draupadi cannot believe what is happening to her. But she is absolutely sure that her husbands will not allow this to happen. They would not allow Dushasan to do this to me. He cannot disrobe me. He cannot undress me. My husbands will not allow this, she was thinking. But they all hung their heads down, and she became very disappointed, very discouraged. But then she thought, no, the elders will not allow this atrocity to happen. She looked towards Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Bhishma, Dhritarashtra. One by one, they all hung their heads down in shame. So now she panicked. What will I do? What will I do? Then she thought, never mind, I shall protect my own honor. She took the edge of her sari, put it between her teeth. Draupadi is not an ordinary woman. She's one of the Panchakanya. She's one of the 5 eternal chaste women, along with 4 others, Ahilya, Kunti, Tara, and Mandodari. These are the 5 Panchakanya. She has tremendous amount of willpower, tremendous amount of moral strength, intellectual strength, mental strength, and physical strength. So she puts the edge of her sari between her teeth, but her strength is no match for the strength of Dushasan. So he just gives a little tug, and the sari is out of Draupadi's mouth, and now she truly panics. Whatever will I do? I have no strength left. And she calls out to Shri Krishna. Ha Nath Dwarika Vasin. O Lord of Dwarika, protect my honor. Come to my rescue. Now this is a pastime that Draupadi is performing. It's all a leela. But do we not do this? Do we not call out to God as a last resort? First we try this, we try that, then we say, oh my goodness, I have nowhere else to turn. Let me turn towards God. We turn towards doctors, we turn towards psychologists, psychiatrists, we turn towards medication, we turn towards other people. Then when everyone says, sorry, cannot help you, then we say, oh Lord Krishna, you're my one and only. He's not our first choice. He is quite often our last resort. Of course, Draupadi does not fit this description. She is not like that. This is her leela. This is a leela that is being performed. But she calls out to him, and there's nothing left. And she lets go of all her strength, and she accepts that she has no strength. Then Lord Krishna comes in a very unique avatar, Ambara avatar. In the form of cloth, he appears, and her sari keeps on extending endlessly. Dushasan keeps on pulling, and he's wondering, what is going on? How long is this sari? But the sari just keeps on extending. Shri Krishna protects the honor of Draupadi, his true devotee. The story of Draupadi tells us also that when we surrender to God, when we stop doing, then He takes over and He starts doing everything for us. We need to stop doing so that he may start doing. We need to get rid of that ego. Aham karomi, I am the doer. I do this, I did this, I did that. This is my accomplishment. That aham has to go. We need to realize that we are not the doers. That let him be the doer. He will do everything. The chariot of our life is traveling very erratically, or let's modernize it, the car of our life is driving on the highway, the superhighway, and it's very erratic. The movements are very erratic. We're making lots of different, lots of wrong decisions. We're taking lots of wrong turns. We're not reaching our destination. And God is sitting in the back seat, and he's saying, let me take over. Let me drive. You sit as a passenger. Take it easy, relax. Let me do all the work. And we have been saying, no, thank you. I'm good. I'll be the doer. Let me do this. I'm good. Bhagwan says, surrender to me. To surrender means to do nothing. Just like a newborn child does nothing, and the mother does everything. Just like Draupadi did nothing then. She decided, I will do nothing, and I shall let Bhagwan Shri Krishna do everything. He protected her. But now, if surrender means to do nothing, does it mean that physically we should just stop doing everything? Should we just lie down? I mean, that's an action also. And we'll still be breathing. That's a physical action. How do we stop doing everything? Well, scriptures tell us that it's not the physical body that is the real doer. Our body and body parts are not performers of our actions. It is verily our mind that performs all our actions. It would be naive of us to think that our eyes are the ones that see the world. It would be naive of us to think that our ears are the ones with which we hear the sounds of the world. Naively, we may think that our tongue tastes the delicacies of this world, and it's our nose that inhales the various aromas and fragrances and smells. The fact is that our mind is doing all that. Our mind is the one that sees, hears, tastes, touches, and smells the world. Because all the subtle senses and all the gross senses are contained within the mind. The senses do not have the mind contained within them, but the mind has all the senses of perception, jnanendriya, and senses of action, karmendriya, included within it. This is why even when we have a quilt over our head, we are laying down, we are sleeping, we are still seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling. We are still running, we are jumping, we are doing so many things as we dream. Because the mind has the senses included within it. That is why. And if our mind is elsewhere, then we cannot hear what is being said. We can't understand it. The words are going into the ears, but we are not able to understand. What did you say? We ask. The student asks, hey, what did the teacher say? Well, you were there. Yeah, but I was daydreaming. I was looking out the window. I was waiting for break time. I was daydreaming. If our mind is not there, we can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell anything. So to surrender means cessation of all activity, to not do anything. And so, because the mind is the performer of all our actions, then it stands to reason that it's our mind that we must go give to God. It's our mind that must be surrendered to God. Shri Krishna does say in the Gita, Mayeva mana adhatsva, may buddhim niveshaya. Give me your mind and give me your intellect. The devotee gives his mind, but not the intellect. The jnani gives the intellect, but not the mind. God says, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, give me both. Make a gift of your mind and intellect. Surrender completely to me. So when Shri Krishna says to Arjun, Arjun, do not perform the virtuous action of fighting the battle and do not perform the sinful action of not fighting the battle, but still fight the battle. What he means is, do fight the battle, but tasmat, sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara and yuddhyacha. Think of me at all times. Keep your mind on me at all times. Do my roop dhyan all the time while you engage your body in the performance of this action, in the fighting of this battle. And then you will no longer face the consequences of your actions. There will be only one action that I will be taking note of, and that is that you are practicing devotion to me. The whole world saw Arjun shooting arrows at thousands and thousands of people. He killed so many people during the battle of Mahabharata, but Sri Krishna did not agree with this. He wrote in Arjun's file that Arjun only practiced devotion. That's all he did. For the 18 days when the Mahabharata was going on, it lasted 18 days, and Arjun did nothing but practice devotion because his mind was only on Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna did not take note of the actions of the body, the physical actions, that Arjun is killing so many people, he's committing so many murders, he is aiming his arrow at this one, that one, and with one arrow he has killed 100 people. Sri Krishna didn't note any of that down because Arjun's mind was absolutely surrendered to Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna says, surrender to me and I shall take over. I will perform all your actions. Sant Kabir is a surrendered soul, and he says, Jo kare so hari kare, hot Kabir Kabir. The works of Kabir are not the works of Kabir, they are the works of Kabir's Lord. The Lord performs all my actions, I do nothing. Manasaiva kritam karma, na sharira kritam kirtam. Yoga Vasishtha. Vasishtha Muni says to Ram, O Ram, only the actions performed by the mind are considered to be true actions. Physical actions are not considered to be genuine actions. Manasakrita mityeva. It's the mind that performs all actions. And so it is the mind that has to be surrendered to God. Now, our question is, why have we not surrendered to him? Shri Krishna says there are 4 kinds of people who fail to surrender to him. Namam dushkriti no mudha prapadyante na radhama mayaya prahitagyana asuram bhavamashrita. Let me quickly tell you about these. First of all, there is a fool, mudha. There is a fool who doesn't know the purpose of his life. He thinks that life should be lived only at the physical level. And his only concern with in life is to make enough money, to save some money, spend some money, put some money in the bank, go on a vacation, once in a while with his family, getting married, having children, earning money, accumulating money, saving some, spending some, going on vacations, and then dying one day. That's the extent of his life. That's it. He is like a goat in the slaughterhouse. The goats are made to stand in a line in the slaughterhouse, and the goat in the front is getting its head chopped off, but the one in the back is happily munching on grass, completely oblivious to its impending fate. So the fool is like that. Secondly, there are those who are called naradham. They are somewhat aware of the purpose of life. They're somewhat aware of the divine philosophy of scriptures. God has blessed them with a guru also. So they do know what is to be done, but they are simply too lazy and too careless to do anything about it. It's like someone who has a meal in front of him and he says, I'm hungry. And then he's told, well, go ahead, dig in, eat. And he says, oh, I can't be bothered. I mean, I have to extend my hand and take my spoon over there, or take my hand and break a piece of the roti, and then I have to dip it in the dal or the sabji, the vegetable. Then I have to bring my hand all the way to my mouth. Then I have to actually put the food into my mouth, that morsel. Then I have to chew the food. Oh, no, 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 I can't be bothered. It's too much hard work. But I'm starving, I'm starving, I'm starving. The lazy and careless one. Thirdly, there are those people who have doubts about everything and everyone. And especially, they have doubts about God. I would not suggest that you go to these, to the internet and see what they're saying, read what they're saying, but it's ridiculous and it's quite sad because there are so many people posting on the internet, and they have the audacity to talk about the scriptures and finding fault with God and saints. God help them. But there are those people who have doubts about everything. Why did Lord Krishna do this? Why did Ram do that? It doesn't make sense. Why did Ram renounce Sita? They have doubts. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, this kind of person can never surrender to me. First of all, the fool cannot surrender. Secondly, the careless, the lazy one cannot surrender. Thirdly, the one with doubts cannot surrender. And fourthly and lastly, there are those who are actually demons disguised as humans. Not only do they not go towards God themselves, but they try to stop others from doing that as well. This would be the husband who says to the wife, you try leaving the house to go to the temple. I will break your legs. You want to go to your guru's ashram? Says the wife to her husband. Well, when you come back, you'll see that I'm gone. You face the consequences. These are demonic people who try to stop others from going towards God. Shri Krishna says, these four individuals, four types of people can never surrender to me. So we fit somewhere in there. We fit one of the four categories, and I suspect it is the second category that we fit in. We are the careless ones. We are thinking, I'll do it some other time. Yes, I know about Prema Siddhant. I know that God has blessed me with Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj and his unparalleled teachings. I know, I know the Siddhant. Don't preach to me, I know it. And in fact, I think I've understood it more than anyone else. And I'll follow it sometime in the future. In the meantime, I will tell you what to do. You should be following it. So we become careless, we become lazy. We fail to surrender to God. And then, lastly, I would like to tell you about what Jagadguru Ramanujacharya has said. He said there are some impediments in our self-surrender. He calls them Kapuya Charan and Tushti. 3 Kapuya Charan, 4 Tushti. Very quickly, Shri Maharaj has talked about them in Radha Govind Geet. Kapuya Charan teen Govind Radhe Jihm Anrit Maya Bhav Bata de. 3 Kapuya Charan. Acharan means conduct. There are 3 types of conduct that we are guilty of that become obstacles in our path to self-surrender, to surrender ourselves to God and Guru. First of all, he says, Jihma Bhav. What is this, Jihma Bhav? It means lack of simplicity. Man mein ho vividh kutilta bata de. That our mind is filled with craftiness. We try to deceive others. We say one thing, we mean another. We don't say what we mean, we don't mean what we say. We weren't always like that. As children, we were very upfront, we were very honest. A little child turns to a lady behind him and he just says, I don't like you. The mother says, oh, no, don't say that. But Mom, I don't like her. Children don't have any problem speaking the truth. But we become, as we grow older, we become crafty, we become deceitful. And that keeps us away from surrendering ourselves. Secondly, there is anrit bhav. That is, we want to look good in the eyes of others. We want to look good. Acha dikhlane ka yatn bata de. We try so hard. I'm trying so hard. Do you think good of me? You people, please think that I'm a good person. I am a good person. Look, I'm trying to show you my best side. But if you look at me behind closed doors, I am the opposite. So we try to look good in the eyes of others. When Jagai and Madhai, when they renounced their evil ways, they surrendered to Mahaprabhuji, they asked, what should we do to repent for our sins? Mahaprabhuji said, build a ghat on the shore of the Ganga river so that pilgrims may bathe there and so that it may be comfortable for them. And when pilgrims come there, hold on to their lotus feet, grab their lotus feet, bow to their lotus feet, and verbalize all the sins you have committed in life. Tell them, oh, I have drunk alcohol, I have been very nasty to devotees of God, I have lied, I have cheated, I've done this, I've done. Just go ahead and talk about the sinful deeds you have committed. That is your repentance. This is how you will become purified. You talk about all the mistakes you have made in life. Thirdly, there is Maya Bhav. That means Lok Ranjan. We like to pretend that we have more devotion than we really have. A woman gets a couple of tears while sitting in satsang with the grace of God and Guru, and she tries to show everyone, oh, I have become a Gopi. And there she goes dancing and making nuisance, creating a nuisance and disturbing everyone. She should not do this. We should not be doing this. We should not make an outer show of our inner devotional sentiments. We know that we have precious few devotional sentiments as it is. And if we make a public display of them, then people will think, oh, what a great devotee she is. What a great devotee he is. I think he is Tulsidas. I think she is a Gopi. Oh, she is like Mirabai. Her voice is so sweet and she's wearing these white clothes. I think she's a Mirabai come back to life. She is Mirabai. And then we start believing, indeed, I am Mirabai. I think I am. In fact, I'm sure I am. Our ego increases and we become worse than we were in the beginning. So these are the three Kapuya Charan. Jihma Bhav, Anrit Bhav, Maya Bhav. And then therefore, Tushti. Tushti means santushti, it means satisfaction. We become satisfied, so we create these obstacles in our path to self-surrender to God. One tushti is Bhagavad Tushti. We blame God. Well, I am not moving on this path because God has not graced me. That's why. God has not graced me. I'm satisfied with my efforts, but God hasn't graced me. Then Sharan Varan Tushti. Second one is that I surrender myself, but I surrender myself physically only. I say to God, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Oh, Shri Krishna, you are my only shelter. And I surrender to him only physically and verbally and ceremoniously. But I don't surrender to him internally. My head bows before him, my mind bows before the world. So this is Sharana Varan Tushti. This is the mistake we make in surrendering to God and Guru. Thirdly, there's Kal Tushti. We say, well, I'm satisfied with my efforts, but it's not my time to surrender to God. It's not my time to do devotion. Wait till my time comes. I'll go to the top of the class. I'll be number one devotee. I will beat you all. I will go to number one position. But what can I do? It's not my time yet. Fourthly and lastly, Bhagya Tushti. We put the blame on our destiny. Oh, I'm just not destined to be a devotee. It's not in my destiny to surrender to God. It's not my fault. It is my destiny's fault. Jagadguru Ramanujacharya points out the three Kapuya Charan, the three mistakes in our conduct, and the four lame excuses we make. Four tushtis, Bhagavad tushtis. We become satisfied with our efforts. But Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, our beloved Gurudev, teaches us, that we should never be satisfied with the devotion we are doing. We should never be satisfied with the service, the seva, devotional service we are performing, whether it is physical, financial, or mental. We should never be satisfied with our efforts. We must always think, I have not done any devotion, I have not surrendered enough, I have not done any seva. Never be satisfied in the area of God, but always be satisfied in the worldly area that God has given me enough to live on. I have enough. I have enough. Thanks to God, I have enough. Be satisfied in the world and never be satisfied with your spiritual efforts. So we must keep on trying. We are the most blessed of all, that we have been guided by Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, and we continue to be guided by our beloved Gurudev. And we have the strength of his lotus feet with us. We should never think, oh, it won't happen in this lifetime. It won't happen, not with me. No, I don't think I'll reach there. But if we have decided this, it can never happen. I hear a lot of people saying, well, it hasn't happened so far in 30 years. How can I believe that something will happen going forward? What kind of attitude is this? We must always be very optimistic. No, I can do it with the help of God and Guru. I will do it. I'm determined to do it. What is impossible for us if we have a firm determination? Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. We hear of so many people who were even more sinful than ourselves, and they became surrendered to God in one single lifetime. If we are determined to do it, we can also make it happen. We have the strength of the lotus feet of our Gurudev with us. I do not need to say any more. Boliye Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj ki, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.